Hi everybody, I'm Mumbles.
I'm Josh.
I'm Seamus.
And I'm Ritzgarn. And what happened last week? I don't watch nerd shows.
We said goodbye to Sam and Henry as they departed in happiness. And they went on their own way. They totally... Okay, real talk. Sam got bit, turned, and his older brother Henry had to shoot him, and then shot himself in anguish.
Was that all on camera? Sorry. Did you have to see the whole thing?
That was all on camera. Yeah, that was...
You missed it because
right
of pizza.
after you left. Yeah,
well, pizza... I'm glad I left for pizza. Yeah.
Yeah. It was one of the... It's one of the more brutal moments in this game. It's heavy duty.
It might be the worst. We talk about all these terrible things that happened, like, and then he shot himself, but only after he shot all of the school children. And then he had to put down his pet velociraptor who was ailing with arthritis. And then, like, as he's saying this, Josh is moonwalking backwards while he tries to pick a bottle of water. And it reminds me that, you know, there are all kinds of tiny little obstacles you need to overcome to immerse somebody in a video game.
How was it? Last time.
Where's Ellie?
I believe his last words to me
she's
were,
following me around.
I don't ever want to see your goddamn face again.
Is she?
Yeah. I mean, presumably she's talking.
Presumably, yeah. See, I hear her, but I don't see her.
Oh, there she is.
Without his help, we'll get there.
Let's just keep going.
So apparently she just has a voice. She just has very strange. This canyon has very strange acoustical properties in that people can be 10 meters away and continue to talk like they're standing beside you.
A comic book.
This area looks so much like Skyrim. It's kind of tricky.
I know my comic books always look super good when I put them on wet earth.
That is silly. After a week, that thing would be unreadable. That's ridiculous.
It's a hardcover.
Pristine condition.
Can I just say
some of
that's
the
the kind
edges
of
are doggy.
that cover made that look like the kind of comic that makes me feel uncomfortable when I walk into a comic book store. It's just something about like power pose, spread-legged sci-fi dude sitting on a throne, grinning super evilly, while a like scantily clad lady stands nearby, looking pouty. Just like gives me this kind of edge of I don't know if I really want to get into a conversation with the kind of person this cover's marketed toward.
It uses the river's movement and turns it into electricity.
How does it do that?
Look, I know what it is. I don't know how it
Okay,
does
so this is kind of interesting.
Right.
I watch most of these episodes with the volume down very low, so I can, I hear all the coverage. For some reason, Joel's accent is sounding odd to me when I'm sitting down.
I was just gonna say his accent. It's so fucking like Woody Harrelson today.
I was like, is that a different character?
Is it because it's been 3 months and he's losing his Pittsburgh accent now that we've left Pittsburgh?
That'd be pretty amusing.
Do you suppose we killed you in Pittsburgh, Seamus? Because, I mean, I figure that of all the people to not survive the zombie apocalypse, you would not survive it the most.
I would be the first to not survive.
You would literally be casualty zero.
Do you suppose you would have better luck as a zombie, though?
You know what?
You'd be a cute
it turns
zombie,
out it turns out the origin of the zombie plague is if you eat too many Skittles and take an asthma inhaler. And that combination. And it's like after Halloween 1 year and I steal some Skittles and then all of a sudden...
Something that disappointed me about this segment, look at how fast the water here is moving. I'm going to take my hand off the movement stick now.
Okay.
Wow.
There is no current.
No.
What's the dive
bullshit.
button? There it is.
Programmer really needed to keep up with current events.
Oh, you bastard. The other thing is, I think the problem is that the people who made this game have never been in near water.
What the
I mean, just
They
judging
think
by
all
the
water
behavior
looks
of
like
pallets.
so fucking clean. They think that water is like the
Yeah.
cleanest, most beautiful. No.
Is that the only way in?
And you come out of water and you're just like, I feel so refreshed. This was great. I'm glad I'm wearing wool clothing.
Oh, my clothes are instantly dry.
And here, this wooden pallet
Oh,
will
this is
hold up a
bad.
Honda Civic in water.
And I'm
Hey guys,
sorry, I
guess
can't
what?
hold my breath this long.
It's wooden pallet time.
I knew this was coming
Oh.
because we were swimming.
And this is the part where you really realize there's no current. Hey, look at this! It's magic!
Wow.
Need you to...
Really?
Step on the fucking
Why did
ground.
this
This would
need to
be
be in the
super
game?
dangerous.
Hey, this
This
is
is
like get swept into the dam at this point.
Yes.
Die.
Like, seems like this might just have just been the most convoluted assassination plot on Joel's part. I'm still in favor of just like upending it midway through and saying "learn to swim, asshole." Just to go on the record.
The thing is that they've got time right now. He could actually teach her how to swim in an afternoon. It doesn't take that long to teach someone how
Yeah.
to swim.
Good
If there's no
point.
current here, fucking
It-
do it.
Okay, so the first thing you want to keep in mind when you're swimming is, if at all possible, you want to not wear any heavy packs. You want to take off anything that could ruin in the water, you know, gunpowder, cartridges, that sort of thing. Metal that might rust. You want to set that aside, especially if you're going to have a platform that you're going to carry across that might transport these goods dryly and safely. Also, wool clothing, not a good thing to wear.
That's an interesting puzzle or a gameplay idea.
I will.
What if, I have to get in the water. Well, I don't want to get all my... You had to give your pack and guns
Teamwork.
to her.
That's what you
And
do in real
then-
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had
High
to
five.
get her across, and you... But that left you with a section where you're not carrying your stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna get right back to complaining in a second, but I liked that little That was good.
Me
That was
too.
very well voice acted.
That's too smart.
Actually, I'm gonna complain about a different game, which is that's the one thing about
What should I
Frostfall
do with it?
that I actually.
I want to talk about it.
No.
Why not?
It's the one thing about
How many
Frostfall
times
in
do we
Skyrim
go
that
over
like
this?
is not exacting and
Things
perfect to my
happen.
specifications.
And
I really wish it would track
That's
dryness
enough.
of items separately
Right.
for like
I'm sorry.
I wish that your wetness would go down if you put on dry clothing.
Oh,
Out of
yeah.
context quotes for 400.
Out of that last conversation they just had, where she's like, I am a emotional person. I have feelings, believe it or not. I want to talk about how a friend that I had just fucking died. And he says, no, we don't talk about it. We fucking move on. And she's like, you're right. Thing is this motherfucker isn't right. Even if you're in a zombie
I know, I
apocalypse,
am.
if
Right.
you teach someone to keep all of
Get
their
past this
feelings
place, then
bottled
we can
up,
scrounge up some
they will
food.
go fucking insane. If she actually wanted to talk about her feelings and talk about her friend who just died so they could actually move on, it would have helped her. But, like, he's not right.
Ain't no way
He's
around
not
it.
fucking right.
Gonna have to cut through the plant.
Oh, and if you see the rest of the game, that's actually his central character flaw, is that he's never at the very beginning of the game, his daughter was killed at the onset of the zombie apocalypse, and he's never dealt with it. He never talks about it. He never refers to her. Ellie still has no idea that he had a daughter, and so he never dealt with it, and that leads to him having a bad attitude and making some bad decisions.
Ellie?
I
Which
dig
indirectly
that.
leads to him
Lady says.
surviving, because it's a video game and the survivors of the zombie apocalypse have to be grim hard asses with no joy in their
We
lives.
didn't know the place was
I don't
occupied.
think-
We're just trying to make our way through.
I don't think
Through to
that's
where?
accurate. I mean,
Alright.
like,
No,
I think
that's
that you
extremely
can...
accurate.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad. I didn't catch the
pure video
sarcasm
game.
at
That's,
first.
that's pure video game bro
Oh
logic.
man, what incredible chances!
How you doing, baby brother?
So
I
we
like
just
how
wandered
Joel
into
doesn't
some
wanna hug
random
back.
compound, and it happens to be
You're fucking old.
the compound that
Helping you
contains
too.
his brother and
This is Marie.
sister-in-law.
Be nice to her. She sort of runs things around here.
Ma'am, thanks for not blowing my head off.
Would have been embarrassing, considering you're my brother-in-law.
We all gotta get wrangled up at some point.
Ellie, right?
Joel's like,
Yeah.
no.
What brings you
You
through?
know what you're getting wrangled up in? You're getting wrangled up in weakness.
That's kind of a long story.
Why don't we bring him inside?
Yeah.
Man, is it just me, or is Ellie's face acting, I don't know what you want to call it, is she on a whole level above all these other characters? Her face is so expressive. I think
Yeah.
it is, she's a big range. Like, everybody else is just mean and scowly, but she's got sort of innocence, outrage. She's really expressive because she's a really emotional character, and that makes her such an interesting character to watch.
But one of the turbines went south.
You know,
Electricity, Joel.
I kind of, my metric of characters in video games for how interesting I find them, and how much fun I have playing them is how much fun will I have role-playing this character. And I can't imagine having any fun role-playing Joel except as, like,
No.
a parody of him. Because it's like, that whole conversation back there, it's like, yeah, I gotta get wrangled at some point, and you just see Joel's face like,
Winston,
oh god.
this soldier back in the zone. He gave me that.
He's just like, hi, this is my wife, and he's just like, no names.
That'd be awesome.
No names. I don't want to know who this is.
Can you just tell me now if something bad happens to the
let's
horses?
continue
I
the
need to
tour.
be emotionally prepared for it later.
To my knowledge, nothing happens.
Something bad happens to the horses eventually.
Weren't you supposed to head back this
Oh,
morning?
Like,
really?
You mean like the horses die of old age, Josh?
You know, we'll be fine. Just go home.
No.
Just a couple
Oh,
more hours.
okay.
Like, the horses get shot.
Take it
Well,
easy.
I'm gonna
horses
tell you
get
right
shot.
now that something bad happens to like the bro and the lady bro. We just met.
That's fine. I don't care about humans.
You haven't played this game. You don't
No,
know.
I haven't played this game, but I can tell you as a fucking fact something bad happens to those people.
Yeah.
That's
Because
interesting.
they're happy,
Actually,
and the whole thesis of this game, Joel's whole character, I mean, you know, you can talk all you want about how the game is making a point about his character, like, not being right about all this,
Come on, Ellie.
but,
The boys some
like,
snacks.
the game can't commit to that
I'm
being
sending Tommy
true,
over. Stand by.
and if these characters end up, like, actually being happy together and having a good time, it makes Joel look like a huge clown, and they're not willing to do that.
That's a good
No,
On some
you-
level, they have to
okay.
justify his unhappiness.
to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong here, Josh. But I believe
Let him have his.
I could be totally
idea
wrong.
of what's
If I am
gonna
wrong,
happen.
if I am wrong, that's awesome, and I want to know about it, like right now, because that's, you know, I appreciate that. I am predicting this based on the lackluster storytelling in most video games, and so if this is like
Said I'm good.
does something
Oh.
different with this,
Are you so
anything
shiny,
different.
Joel?
Did you
Yeah,
see
that's it,
that? That
but-
was a picture of Joel and his daughter,
I need to talk.
20 years ago, and he does not have a picture of his daughter, and his brother tries to give it to him, and Joel's like, no, I don't
just
need
check on my
it.
guy.
That is how hard Joel's heart is. That is how far away from his emotions he
Is
is.
the
That he
game-
doesn't even.
Does the game seem to be on Joel's side? Is the game saying his way of
It-
surviving is correct, or are they saying like
I don't.
feel sorry
ultimately,
for him
I
'cause
don't think
he's
the game is on
wrong?
his side. No.
Okay, I'm just curious because
It's-
it is
'cause it is
interesting to
played
have
like
a game where the protagonist isn't
steal your
necessarily like right according to the narrative. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of games that I can
Right.
think of that do that.
Right, he is wrong. He's tragically wrong. He's, I mean, he's a classically tragically flawed character. That is the way that he is wrong, and we realize you can't fix that. And you realize there is no power that can fix it. It isn't like, oh, if he would just get over it. It's like, he cannot get over it. There's nothing that could make that change in him. And it's one of the reasons
these guys
at the
have-
beginning.
Farming.
Oh,
What do you
love
do
it.
for protection?
it's one of the reasons he kept Ellie at the beginning of the story. He was so cold to Ellie. He wanted to treat her as baggage. He didn't want Ellie to get into that space where his daughter was. You know, he didn't want to think of Ellie as his daughter. And you see that slowly happening despite all his attempts to keep Ellie away. They're bonding throughout this trip. And then, like you guessed last week, Mumbles, that at the end the Fireflies want to cut her open to science study her. And so, but it's too late, he's already bonded with her. And that's where this game is going. Well, in
that way, I mean, that's actually interesting character development, because if it's someone who's shutting himself off, and then by the end of it, he's like, no, I actually care about someone enough to try and save them. That's interesting character development.
Yeah.
That's a good job.
These two geniuses are gonna bring this plant back.
And it's not that he's like, a lot of protagonists don't have any feelings because they're too cool. Like the asshole from Watch Dogs, Aiden Pierce, is too cool to express emotion. But Joel he's not too cool to express emotion. He is literally too flawed. He is too afraid of feeling emotions, and he's very put it this way, the death of his daughter was the worst thing that ever happened to him, and he will do anything to avoid getting hurt like that again. And that colors his entire behavior, and that is the game, is him dealing with that pain.
I think that what you just described is what people get wrong about, like, Batman. Like, a lot of people think that Batman is cool because he's emotionally distant, when really the best written Batman is the one that actually can't cope with people or feelings because of what happened to him.
Yeah.
And the fact that he takes on a Robin and still has problems but cares about someone and actually builds a family is the character development that is actually pretty similar to Joel in this game.
All right, Joel.
Okay, so I looked it up. And I should talk about it, because if I don't, someone in the comment is going to, because I made a very bold and, as it turns out, incorrect statement. So it looks like nothing... Yeah, massively incorrect. It looks like I was totally 100% wrong. Nothing bad happens to these people. They actually do pretty okay. That's good. That's a very mature...
And that further proves that the game doesn't agree with Joel, because this is his brother trying to have someone that he cares about and he puts his feelings towards. And the fact that nothing bad happens with them means that it's okay to do that.
I'm going to make an unambiguously positive statement here. This proves that the writers know what they're doing. This proves absolutely that the writers considered the effects of the story arc and of what they're saying by having things happen in their game, and that is more than you could say for most game writers.
Why bring her here? I was supposed to deliver to the Fireflies.
Yeah, this is, the more I think about this, like when I was done watching the movie of this game, I was like, that was a good movie. But the more I've looked at this and the closer I've looked at it, the more impressed I am.
What makes you think I'd do this for you?
With how they handled all these things.
Tommy, this is for your damn
that this is even more smartly constructed than it seems.
Talking about some walk in the park here.
Jesus, boy.
Even this scene right here, where you've got Tommy's cause is his family, and that's playing as a contrast to Joel,
and
doesn't
Joel,
want to be
once
a
again
family.
showing how distant and not wanting to have a family he is trying to literally pawn off the whole job with Ellie to Tommy.
Goddamn years I took care of us.
Took care? That's what you call it? I got nothing but nightmares from those years.
You survived because of me.
It wasn't worth it.
I bring you the cure from mankind, and you want to play the pissy little brother.
We ain't back in Boston. You lay your hands on me again, it won't end well for you.
This is a really good conversation.
We're under attack.
You could totally see where everyone in this conversation is coming from. That's good.
And it doesn't feel like over-exposition either. It doesn't feel like they're just saying the same shit over and over. You get different hints of like where they're coming from. It's really nuanced, actually, for a video game.
And then literally right to shooting bandits without even moving your mouse.
I know. I know, and right to shooting bandits, and it's bandits assaulting a compound. Like, how many damn raiders are there in this stupid world?
Yeah.
And they are so
That's-
dumb and so stupid.
Their tactics are pretty ironclad, though. They're running one at a time into the fortified area through choke points. And they didn't put up any kind of siege, despite having
I ate
significant
2 of my
numbers.
instant kill health bars. Oh god.
Yeah, it's pretty great tactics. I mean, it's really easy
So
to kill them, so
childish.
very useful.
And the way Tommy handled it, he wasn't like, oh my gosh, those bandits are finally got up to... He's like, oh, we're under attack, and it makes
That
it
was a
feel
bad
like this
idea.
happens all the time. It makes
Thanks,
it feel
game.
like,
Please
oh, another one of
patronize me
these.
some more.
Bandit! Stop him! Don't let him into the building!
I do like that. I do like that was less passive aggressive than actually just openly aggressive.
Did you see I got the headshot indication and I thought I'd killed him, but I instead shot the engineer.
He was a goner.